What's up, future millionaires? Billy Wilson here, and in this video I wanted to talk about the cons of social media marketing. So if you guys are thinking about starting a social media marketing agency, or you've already gotten started, what are the things to watch out for? Like, what are the negatives of actually starting a social media marketing agency? Because I haven't really seen anybody make a video out of this, so I figured I would do it for you guys so you can know, I guess, the downsides of starting a social media marketing agency and give you a realistic expectation of like what are the bad parts of social media marketing. So let's jump right into it. Some of them might be obvious, but then some of them might actually be things that you probably didn't expect at all. But I think the first one that people don't really expect is that the hardest part about social media marketing is actually not really getting the results for the clients. And sometimes it's not even getting the clients, but it's actually getting the clients to make themselves successful. See, there's been so many times where when I've gotten clients, I've gotten them amazing results, and they actually didn't even call many of the leads, or they didn't call the leads properly, or they didn't have a very good sales process in place. And I think that's got to be the number one negative con for me as far as social media marketing goes, is the fact that some of the businesses that you work with might not even be good businesses to work with. And a lot of times, sometimes businesses think you're gonna like come in and wave a magic wand for their business, and then all of a sudden their business is gonna be fixed. They're gonna become multi-millionaire and all of this kind of stuff, when that's not really how it has to work. It has to be a good partnership between you and the business. Like, the business has to do work as well, and that can be sometimes a little bit harder to sell as well. Now, some of the other cons, and this is kind of one of the more obvious ones, is you have to talk to people. You have to learn how to do sales. And for me, this was probably the biggest negative con for me when I first got started, because I am a huge introvert. And I mean, even if you watch my beginning YouTube videos, I was absolutely terrible on the camera and talking to people. So that was the number one hardest thing for me, was actually talking to the business owners. I was extremely nervous. And that's probably the biggest con, and probably the biggest reason most people don't want to get started with social media marketing, is because you have to talk to people, you have to learn how to do sales, and you have to actually meet with business owners. And a lot of people just want to sit inside, work on their computer all day, and that's the only thing. So I think that's the number one con. But for me, I feel like for me it was more so a positive, because even though it was a con and it sucked as far as my mindset goes, and it was a really hard thing to get through, it's actually a pro in the long run, because it taught me how to learn sales skills, and it taught me the skill of talking to people that I had never really gotten previously. And it was a huge fear of mine, and to actually overcome that fear has really helped me a lot in my overall happiness in life. So second con is definitely that you have to talk to people and you have to learn how to do sales and all of that stuff. Another con about starting a social media marketing agency, if you're doing it by yourself, it can be a little bit difficult to scale up. Like, once you get to six figures, that's the benefit of the social media marketing agency. I think out of all the business models, it's the fastest you can scale to six figures, because each client is paying you multiple $1,000s per month. But it is more difficult to scale from six figures to seven figures with a social media marketing agency, because once you get to six figures, you're pretty much kind of maxed out on the work you can do yourself. And at that point, you have to hire people. Compared to with like a drop shipping store, if you somehow get the right product, you might be able to build a seven-figure store without even hiring anybody at all. With a social media marketing agency, it's pretty much impossible to build a social media marketing agency to seven figures without hiring anybody. But once again, you can kind of think of it in a pro way, because it taught me how to hire people. And you have to really think about, like, what's the benefit and downside? Am I trying to build like a seven-figure business, and or am I trying to build like a six-figure business as fast as possible? Like, drop shipping is like extremely competitive as well. And that actually brings in another con as well. It can be quite competitive as far as marketing agencies as a whole, maybe not specifically Facebook ad agencies, but as far as marketing agencies contacting businesses all the time, it can be sometimes difficult to get a meeting in the first place, because so many marketing agencies are contacting businesses every single day, and these business owners are getting hit up every single day. So most of the time they will ignore your messages, or think you're just gonna sell them something, and they will just completely ignore you because of that fact. But the way you can get around this is you can actually you need to just be completely different from any other person that's messaging them. You need to put yourself in the shoes of a business owner and think about what it's like to get multiple messages per day from marketing people. Like, think about what's the typical person going to say versus what you're going to say. You have to think of a way you can be unique and that you can stand out from everybody else. Maybe one way, just an example, probably the easiest way to stand out is give real proof and results of how you're different. If you're writing, so think about this too. When you're messaging business owners, you're calling them on the phone, you're supposed to be a copywriter and a marketer, right? So if you can't sell yourself good, on the phone, how are you going to sell their business? So you need to think about it that way. How can you also get good at writing good copy that will get you clients, meetings with clients? And that's leads me into my next con, which is the hardest. I think the hardest part for people that are starting a social media marketing agency is getting that first client. That is probably one of the number one cons in starting a social media marketing agency. Is it's really can be well, not always, but for me it was pretty easy to get my first client. But for some people, I've noticed it can be very difficult for them to get that first client for a lot of different reasons. One, they might just be terrible at talking to people, which I was at the beginning. They could be, a lot of times it's limiting beliefs, like thinking you're not worthy enough, you're not confident enough, and you don't have results, so you can't help them. For me, I didn't have any limiting beliefs. So I think that's one of the main reasons that helps me be able to get my first client pretty quickly, is because I went into the meeting with confidence. Even though I was really nervous and I didn't speak very well, I still went in with confidence. And I think confidence, if you're coming into a meeting with confidence, even if you can't speak well, even if you can't do things very well, if you're confident that you're gonna do whatever it takes to bring them results, that will help you immensely in getting your first client. And you kind of have to just sell them on. I had to be honest with my first client. Like, I didn't have any other clients. I pretty much was honest with them. Like, I just need a chance to prove how much I can help you. And I even offered them to do a trial, but they still paid me instead. But even if you can't get that first client, or you're really, really nervous, just go ahead and do a trial for someone. Learn how to do the Facebook ads first, then go out and do it for a business for free. Get some businesses results. If you're like, you don't have to do this at all. I didn't do this at the beginning. I didn't do a free trial at the beginning. But if you already have confidence that you're gonna do everything you can to get them results, go ahead and do that. You don't have to do any trials. But if you're one of these people that maybe you're like really nervous that you're not gonna bring them results, and you're not really feeling confidence about your ability in Facebook ads and all that, it might be worth just doing it for free for 2 weeks or 1 week or 2 weeks for a business, and get them some results, or do it for like 3 businesses and get some results. And that way, then you gain the confidence, and then you have the results. And when you go into your next meeting, you can show the client the exact results that you've gotten. When you're sending messages to get meetings with businesses, you can be like, I brought this whatever business 11 new members in 11 days, and they made this much from my advertising. And then when you say stuff like that, it becomes way, way easier to actually get the meetings with clients. So I think those covers kind of like all of the main cons of social media marketing. To recap, it was one of the most obvious ones is that you have to talk to business owners. You have to be social. And for me, that was one of the hardest ones to overcome, because I was not social at all. And that was just a skill that I gained, but it kind of turned into positive for me because of the fact that I got to learn sales, which is and social skills, which gave me way more confidence and happiness in my life. And I can talk to like friends and family way better now that I know how to do that. And I can talk and obviously do these YouTube videos way better. Another con is that the clients can sometimes be difficult to work with if you don't pick the right clients. So make sure you qualify your clients a lot. Just as much as they're qualifying you when they're asking you questions in the meeting, you should be qualifying your client, also making sure that they are a great quality client as well. Because you don't want to get a client that you bring them a bunch of leads and then they don't close any because they just didn't even care about following up the leads or changing their business. So your client also has to be motivated as well, just as much as you are. And then recap again, sometimes scaling a social media marketing agency to 7 figures, I think it's the fastest scalable business to 6 figures, because you only need a couple clients and it's really sustainable. So that means you can quit your job really quickly if you just get a couple clients paying you $1,000 per month or more. So that makes it really easy. But scaling to 7 figures, you have to hire quite a bit of people. Now there are ways that you can scale your agency in a more scalable way. For example, you pick a niche, let's say chiropractors, and you create a training to teach the chiropractors how to do the ads themselves. And that way you can sell that program for like $1,000. It could be like an online training program where it's a digital product and you can sell an infinite amount. And that way you wouldn't have to hire more people to get to 7 figures. But if you just want to grow like your marketing agency as a whole, it can be a little bit more difficult to scale it up by hiring people. But once again, it's kind of a positive too, because you learn how the skill of hiring people and how to automate your business, how to run a real business. Which I guess compared to like drop shipping or something like that, those businesses, they can die at any time. So like if your product stops selling well, you can die at any time. Marketing, social media marketing will be around pretty much forever. And even if social media marketing isn't around forever, marketing definitely will always be around. So you can just change your service up and you can still be helping your same clients for literally like years. I've been helping like my latest client for almost like 2 years now. So we've been working together for a while. My second longest client has been working with me for like almost a year and they pay like $5,000 a month. It's pretty awesome with that. So those are probably my main cons about social media marketing. Hope you guys enjoy this video. And if you have any other cons, you can list them down below. Those are the main ones that I could think of, to be honest with you guys. But just wanted to make this video to be real with you guys. Oh yeah, another one that I do want to say. Another con I would say is at the beginning, and this I already talked about this a little bit, but at the beginning, sometimes it can seem like you're going nowhere. Like you might be putting in work to get your first client for like months and you still don't get that first client, and it can be really frustrating because you might contact like 100 businesses, then you don't get a client. Well, and if that's the case, you need to figure out what you're doing wrong, do it differently, and do it like that. But once you get that first client, I think it makes the ball get rolling like way easier. Getting your first client is like one of the best feelings in the world. So if you're in that situation, just stick at it. And I can promise you, if you work on the business every single day, you will get your first client, and you become better every day, of course. And you can't just make the same mistakes over and over and then expect to get your first client. But if you're improving every day, I can guarantee you will eventually get your first client, and it'll be amazing. And then that's when the snowball really starts going. It starts out small, but it gets easier and easier to go on as you start getting clients and you start getting this knowledge and the skill set, and you become really good at Facebook ads. You get your clients amazing results. Like as you grow the business, it becomes easier and easier to get new clients. So that's the nice thing about it. So if you're at the beginning, stay strong. You got this, I promise you. But like I said, if you guys have any other cons, I would like you to list them below this video. Or if there's pros that you think about as well, list them below the video too. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and just wanted to keep it real with you guys and honest with you guys to let you guys know the cons of social media marketing and starting a social media marketing business. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and see you in the next one.